What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the North Shore 9 postgame. The Pirates win a thriller of 8-6 in Wrigley. We take the last series against the Cubs, which has been a miserable matchup, but we take the last series. We win the last two games. I'm here with Tyler. Tyler, how are we doing?
Aside from my internet just being atrocious tonight, not too bad. Let me tell you one thing here, Neil, is Josh Palacios the greatest pinch hitter of all time? That's more of a question.
Yes.
I don't want to tell you that. I'm just asking you, is he the greatest pinch hitter you've ever seen in your life?
I have no numbers in front of me, but it's yes. The answer is yes, 100%.
Like between the clutch gene and pinch hitting, if he just had to do, if that's his only job, if he's a 26th man who does nothing but pinch hit and come in big spots, he's Babe Ruth.
Yeah, he's going to hit 30 home runs next year just from the pinch hitting position.
I honestly would not bet against that. I think that was his eighth hit in a pinch hit opportunity this year out of like 23 at bats.
That's crazy.
Second home run.
Only
outside of a pinch hit opportunity or in a high leverage situation, he's a terrible baseball player.
Yeah.
But he is so ungodly good in those situations.
When it gets to, hey, do the Pirates need runs or is the game remotely close? Joshua Palacios just morphs into the best baseball player you've ever seen. And then he turns into Pirates Jose Bautista when the game is nowhere near clutch time.
Yeah, he's legitimately not very good outside of those opportunities, but I don't know that there's another guy I want up in those situations right now, and it's weird.
It's 100% weird. It's a weird comparison, but it's almost what the Orioles last year had with Ravin Odor, where he was terrible, but he was legitimately the most clutch hitter in baseball. It's just one of those weird things.
He's like Matt Stairs, but only in the pinch hit situations.
Yeah.
Matt Stairs was actually good outside of that.
Yeah, I was like, Matt Stairs had a pretty good career, but yeah, I mean, hey, who says Josh Palacios can't have a really good career? You know, I don't want to call him good, but I wouldn't be mad if he's our fourth outfielder. He has grown to that point with me as a fourth outfielder.
I don't know that I'm going there with it, but at the end of the day, you know what? The way I would put it is that if the Pirates were a more competitive team this year, this Josh Palacios story would be sensational.
It would be making headlines.
Yeah. It would be a lot more fun. It's fun right now. It would be really fun if these were coming in really big moments.
Yeah, I agree. Beating the Cubs is always fun, but it's not quite the same when you're 9 games under 500 and you're just trying to play spoiler. It's not the same. But
playing spoiler against the Cubs is really fun too.
That was pretty great. I don't think anyone was looking forward to the series. I know I was dreading it. When the schedule came out and I had 2 games against the Cubs, I'm like, who let me do this? And then we take 2 or 3. You take that every day of the week.
Well, you talked a little bit about Palacios possibly as a fourth outfielder next year. The guy that I really think is the fourth outfielder next year is really coming along right now. Connor Joe is playing really good baseball again.
You scared me for a second.
Where'd you think I was going with that?
I thought you were about to say Andujar, and I was about
No. We'll get to him next because he did have a good day today.
Yeah, he did.
Connor Joe, just the last probably 3 weeks or so, he's playing some really good baseball.
Yeah, I think when you don't force Connor Joe to be an everyday baseball player, he's really good at his job. where he's
absolutely.
really good at mashing lefties. He's good at getting hits. He will walk. He will even get you the Kate. But like, I think it was really like in June and July where we were telling him to play every day. That's when he was at his worst. But like, I think we kind of saw it in April too. Like, he wasn't playing every day in April either.
Right.
But when he's doing this, it's great.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that can be overexposed, I think. He's a bench bat. He's a fourth outfielder, but he's a productive major leaguer in that role. There's just guys that aren't everyday players, and that's fine. You need guys that aren't everyday players, but they need to be Connor Joe. Like, it's good to have him.
Yeah. I would never like if I had to like list of complaints of the 2023 Pirates, Connor Joe would not be anywhere near the list. He's just been a really nice, solid baseball player. Almost like kind of like a Carlos Santana, I'd say, like in terms of value. Probably not the guy you want out there every single day, but a good, solid player, especially when we have a lot of trash on the team.
Yeah, I mean, today I think he had 3 hits. Really lately, it seems like everything he touches is going 100 miles an hour. He's squaring everything up right now. He's played a lot better of a first base than I think I expected. He didn't play it today, but just in general. He's fine out there in the outfield. Just
he's not great.
He's fine enough. I've seen worse. He's not as bad as the next guy we're going to talk about in the outfield, but all things considered, like, I like Connor Joe. I like what he brings to the table. He does little things well. Speaking of which, I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly, was it him that broke up the double play early in the game? Drawing a blank on. Either way, I believe it was.
I don't believe so, but
it might have been Sawinski. I can't remember. But someone beat out the double play at first base. The Pirates score on the next at bat. Little things like that make a difference that they just don't do often enough.
Yeah, like he is an actual baseball player. Like, he would be the best player probably one of the best players by and far on the 2022 Pirates, where we were, giving meaningful at bats to Joshua Mueller. But like, he is someone that like he can be on your team as a competitive baseball team, and you would not be upset. Like, I feel like he could probably slot onto the bench on a lot of competing teams. Even like the top, like, he's probably has no place in the Braves, but like, I feel like a team like the Blue Jays would love Connor Joe. Just a handy bat. So no complaints there.
And I really do think what he's doing lately is pretty valuable to him, because he is a guy with a lot of team control left.
Yes.
You want to see him at least just continue to be major league caliber. And I don't think there's a question on whether he's on the team next year if they don't trade him. But
I can't fathom. I mean, he's still pre-arb next year, right?
Right. Yeah, he is. But he's also 30 years old and still pre-arb. But
if we had any outfielders coming up in the system, I could maybe see it. But since the outfield has nothing, unless you really want Matt Gorski up here next year, which I don't. But
I mean, I think the issue is that there's just a plethora of fourth outfielders on this team, and
there is
the difference to me is that Connor Joe is a true fourth outfielder that you want to have on your team.
That's fair. Yeah, we probably have 3 or 4 different fourth outfielders, depending on how you really feel about Jack Sawinski.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far, but but I guess we can segue in, because to kick off this game, to actually talk about the game, because this guy drove in our first 3 runs. Miguel Andujar. 3 for 4 today. 3 RBIs. Knocks in 2 with a double in the third. And then singles home a run in the 5th. I think someone posted up here, ever since he's come up, Miguel Andujar has been mashing the baseball. What do you make of that?
I mean, he has. I can't take anything away from him. I think he's played decently well since his most recent call-up. I'll keep it to just today because it is a post-game show. He had a good day today. When he gets a fastball, he can run into some pitches. Like, He has good bat speed. There's some pop in the bat, but then he also has some at bats that look like his final one where he swings at 3 pitches that bounce before home plate.
Yeah.
Because he just swings at everything. Today, we got the good Miguel Andujar that was able to lace the ball over the field. Really, I think he probably had 2 hits. The one, to me, is not really a hit, but
yeah,
it. It is
that
what
was
it
Ian
is.
Happ. Ian Happ of all guys messing up against the Pirates.
Yeah. Things you don't.
Yeah, his bat speed really bails him out because that is the
Mhm.
ugliest swing I have ever witnessed in a Major League Baseball player. Like when
Yeah.
he hits the ball, you wonder how that made contact or how he elevated the ball. It makes no sense, but that bat speed is really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the bat to ball skills are pretty good as well. It's just he is literally guessing at the plate and he's swinging.
Yes. And sometimes I guess against guys like Kyle Hendricks who depend on
Hey, I'm picking
attacking.
Kyle Hendricks deep. I'm upset we didn't start the show with this because I could have got the box against him today.
I mean, he's been pretty decent this year, so.
Oh, I'm sending him yard.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll put you in the Wrigley batter's box. We'll see what happens. But I mean,
yeah, I'll take him deep.
But I think against guys who are like control guys who don't throw very fast, I think that's going to be Miguel Andujar's bread and butter.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have to guess as much because Hendricks isn't going to throw him pitches in the dirt.
Right.
But.
And I mean, he can make adjustments on straight pitches. It's just anything that has any break to it. He's done.
Yeah.
But today, I mean, he had a good day again today. Really,
100.
lately, he's been pretty good.
I mean, yeah, Miguel Andujar and Joshua Palacios, 6 of the Pirates' 8 runs come from both those guys.
And Greg Brown mentioned it on the broadcast that Andujar is now over 100 RBIs on the year. It did get a little chuckle out of me because 86 of them came in AAA, and he's like a 10th-year senior down there, basically.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, all things considered, though, 100 RBIs, even if it's split between AAA and the majors, is a pretty impressive stat. So all things considered, he's put together a decent year.
Yeah, and I feel like if he was 25 and he hadn't shown less signs of being able to play baseball in 2018, I'd probably be more on board with the whole Miguel Andujar experiment. I just don't see it next year. Like it really feels like it's one of those things where if he's on the team next year, he's DFA'd again by April 25th. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Yeah.
But I think you give him every opportunity the rest of the way because there's really not much else to trot out.
Yeah,
there.
I agree with that. Give him the at bats. Give Palacios at bats.
But don't do it at the expense of Henry Davis.
Well, I don't think Henry Davis should be back right now, but that's a personal. There's no reason for him. There's no reason for him to be playing baseball with a bum thumb.
When song for another time.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. He did not play tonight. So 3-0. Then Johan Oviedo had the worst 6-inning shutout start I have ever seen.
Legitimate. Let's be honest. I think that was maybe up. I think it was probably the 8th inning, and I thought to myself before Holderman gave up some runs, this is the worst 1-run performance pitching outing I've ever seen in my life. There was a bunch of guys out there that had no idea where the baseball was going tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like we say the exact same thing about Johan Oviedo every time we do the show. He has amazing stuff. He has no fastball command. He hurts himself because he can't have any fastball command. And tonight, he really got lucky. I think the Cubs were like 0 for 9, 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position with him in the game. And he made pitches. Like, I don't want to take that away from him. Like, he made a lot of good pitches. Like, when the chips were down, he turned it on.
He did.
But he's also a couple of Cabrian Hayes Gold Glove plays away from it being a 3-run, 4-run performance from him.
Yeah. I think it was his last start, Jem and I were on, and we talked a little bit about, is it time to probably shut him down for the year? Mm-hmm. I think right now he does look gassed.
Oh, 100%.
You can tell when he's having to throw the slider as much as he does because he has nothing in the tank on the fastball. He's pretty much using everything he can just to keep the velocity up, and he has no idea where it's going. So he has to go to that slider because it's the only thing he has any idea how the command is at this point. And Endy noticed that pretty early tonight that he's going to have to go slider. We even saw him mix in a lot of curveballs tonight. I think it's very, very obvious that he should probably be done for the year. And that's nothing against Johan Oviedo. He's had a really good year. He's done above and beyond what I think we could have hoped for out of him. It's just he's way above his innings.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I don't think any of us expected him to be such a workhorse, but he used to be top 10 in innings. I know he's top 10 in batters faced in the National League this year. Like, he has thrown forget the innings. He has thrown so many pitches because he's not an efficient guy.
Right.
And I would 100% make this his last start. Take what you have. It was a great year, extremely successful year. We love what we're seeing. Get him to tread in the offseason and have him work on fastball stuff, because I don't know what else he has to prove. And I don't think winning one more game in his next start is really worth risking stuff, like just.
Yeah. There's just not, I don't really see the upside in continuing to trot him out there.
No.
Maybe you put him in the bullpen and give him an inning here and there for these last 2 weeks or so, but I don't really see the need to continue to start him. Tonight, it took everything in him to make it through 6 innings and give up no runs. And like you mentioned, it probably shouldn't have been 0 runs. But credit to Johan Oviedo. He really did battle through it tonight.
Yeah.
And really, I think we've seen him battle through it for his last couple starts.
For months, really. Like, he
has so much more you
has.
can do, though.
He's not the most talented pitcher in terms of command, but he has a fight, and I hate to say, he has some sort of like dog in him. Like, he is a dude, and he is a competitor, and I love the spirit.
He's a bulldog on the mound. He's gonna give you everything he's got. He's not afraid out there. He's gonna give you what he's got, whether he has it or not. And I mean, that's a great thing to have. It's just we're just at the point in the year where there's not much more in the tank for him.
Correct. Yeah, and he looked exhausted last start too.
Yeah,
I think he is visibly, and good for him. Like, again, like, you can tell he wants the ball every 5 days. Love that attitude. I think we need to step in and say, hey, good season. Please don't do it again. But
and a lot of it's probably the legs at this point. Like, they have to just be dead.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, the velocity wise, it's still there. It's just taking everything out of him to get it.
Yeah, he never looks comfortable on the mound, does he?
No, especially lately.
Yeah, but I mean, 172 innings this year, basically 173. ERA just above 4. Looking at about 2 B WAR, I think probably around 2 F4. Like, we need, if we go to WAR next year with 2 more Johan Oviedo type pitchers, will be a much better ball club. And I want to go to WAR with Johan Oviedo.
Yeah, he's done way beyond anything I could have expected out of Johan Oviedo this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because there's a point in the year I was like, maybe Tyler's right. Maybe this guy is a bullpen dude. But I think he's proved us all wrong.
Oh, he definitely proved me wrong. I thought he was a 5 ERA guy in the rotation. Tonight's a reason why he can be a starter, because when he doesn't have it, he's still somehow able to battle through it and go 6 innings. When I honestly thought he probably should have been pulled in the 4th.
Probably, yeah. But good thing he wasn't pulled in the 4th.
Yeah, because there wasn't much left either.
As soon as the starters left this game, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
The Cubs get a run back in the 7th. I forget, was it Swanson, Bellinger who drove it in?
I can't even remember. That was so long ago.
It was Dansby. Dansby Swanson drives in the run off of I think Cody Bellinger doubled to start the inning. Colin Selby, another rough outing from him.
Yeah.
1 inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no strikeouts, 3 hard hit balls. He didn't look great.
No, it was weird because the first batter, normally you can tell if Selby has it or not. And the first batter, I was like, okay, we got the good version of Selby tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Next batter, shit hit the fan.
Yeah. But he got Ian Happ out, right? And then
then because the fastball command looked good early, I just don't think he had any breaking stuff tonight, and everything was kind of up.
Mm-hmm.
He's a young pitcher. You need to see more from him, but the stuff is exciting. Just tonight, too many of these types of nights from Colin Selby where he looks really bad.
And to be entirely fair to Selby, like Happ, Bellinger, Swanson, Suzuki is pretty darn tough for a rookie pitcher trying to find his footing.
It is.
But at the same time, with stuff like his, you're really hoping for more than this.
Right.
So, not a great outing by Selby. So 3-1. Then the Pirates strike back in the 8th, get 2 more runs from a G1 Bay triple and a Connor Joe single.
Connor Joe again.
Connor Joe and G1 Bay, yep. Connor Joe, old reliable Connor Joe, is his 3rd hit of the night, I believe.
Yeah.
G1 Bay registers his only hit as a triple, show off, the only reason he's on this team for his speed.
Literally.
Because his OPS was awfully close to dipping below 600. But good job by Bay, even though he couldn't play center field tonight. I don't know if I forget what play it was. The Talkman double.
Yeah, he just looked uncomfortable out there in general. There was a fly ball late in the game too. I don't really think anybody was getting a good read on fly balls.
No, I mean,
Brian Reynolds have trouble?
Brian Reynolds slipped and caught a ball, but it was almost a disaster.
I think we saw Sawinski not read a ball in early as well. He ended up making the play, but there was a couple plays tonight where it didn't look like anyone was picking the ball up.
Yeah, no, Wrigley was a little weird because, at the first game, you had guys slipping all over the place, missing baseballs. Tonight, the Cubs were playing bad defense.
Yeah.
Happ couldn't field a fly ball.
Dansby boots the ball.
Dansby boots the ball. Like, it was rough night defensively once he got into later innings. But then in the 8th, Colin Holderman makes this a really exciting game. Like, I almost felt comfortable, and I never should do that against the Cubs. But when we went up 5-1 going into Holderman Bednar, I'm like, you know what? We've got this. We got this game, and we did not. Because Colin Holderman puts in his worst appearance since
it's been a while. Well, there was that, but for a while, we had a good stretch of Holderman. The stuff looked really good, but
we had. That's what's so disappointing about it, is that he was so good for a while.
At some point, you just got to wonder if it's ever going to be truly consistent just because he's such a big dude, that the mechanics just aren't really going to be repeatable for him.
Mm-hmm.
That we're going to have nights like this where it's just pretty ugly.
Yeah, he didn't really have a whole lot of command tonight, did he?
No, not at all.
He like Oviedo, he did not know where his sinker was going.
No.
Not in the slightest. And he only walks one guy, but he was throwing a lot of balls, and he was just leaving too many pitches over the plate.
Yeah, that's the big part. He just left too much at the heart of the plate. Cubs took advantage of it.
The Cubs finally,
the stuff can't just bail you out all the time.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, if you want to win baseball games, you cannot be letting Yan Gomes and Miles Mastroboni be walking around the bases. Because Talkman's double, then Colin Holderman throws a wild pitch, Mastroboni scores.
Speaking of, very rough night by Endy behind the plate defensively.
Not great by Endy at all.
He did not look good back there tonight.
He didn't look good. I was really happy with him recognizing how Oviedo was going.
Yeah.
I liked him going out, calming down the pitchers. I think the leadership in that part was good. The defense was bad. Defense was very bad.
Yeah, physically it wasn't good.
Yeah. And the bat also was not good.
Yeah.
0 for 5, 2 strikeouts. But yeah, the bat hasn't been good for a while. So it's 5-4. We finally get out of it. And then Joshua Palacios, it's his 10th home run of the year. After we run ourselves off the bases.
Yeah.
When Brian Reynolds got sent by Rebello, and he got there, and I'm like, oh well, we're losing this game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, like I think that was the sinking feeling, like, oh well, there goes our chance. And then Sawinski walks.
And after he goes down 0-2.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, here we go.
He's
going to strike out looking with a guy on third again.
I thought he's gonna swing right through a pitch down the middle. That's what I would. But he walks. I think that was the second walk of the night. He had one hit, scored. So again, Jack Sawinski has been a much better hitter in the month of September. I wish he didn't disappear for 2 months before he had this September, but it's been a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be as bad as he was there for a while, but
yeah,
he's been getting on base a little more, and the power's kind of come and gone, but he hasn't been unplayable.
No, he has been a lot. Yeah, he's been a competent hitter. I still don't like him in center field, though. Still not a fan, but and then pinch hitting for the 3 for 4 Miguel Andujar, a Derek Shelton masterclass. Joshua Palacios puts the game to bed almost with a 3-run home run, clearing Wrigley Field. It was a beautiful sight to behold.
Like I said, he's the guy I want up in that situation, as strange as it sounds.
Yeah.
He's come through time and time again this year. He's playing really well.
Yeah.
Like Jim mentions in the chat, he actually pinch hit for Alika Williams because Alika Williams came in for Andujar, and we had 1,000 subs in like the 8th inning. There were a lot of subs that all happened there.
Yeah, my bad.
Hard to keep up with everything that happened because there was a sub for a sub for a sub.
I don't feel bad about missing that.
Yeah.
But man, what a clutch hit. He keeps doing it. I don't know how he keeps doing it. But I think especially on a team that struggles to hit home runs as much as the Pirates do, I think we're like 4th last in the league in homers. Mm-hmm. Having a guy with the raw power of Joshua Palacios is really fun.
It's just fun to watch him in these big situations because he just comes through. I don't get it. They can tell you however much they want that clutch gene is not a real thing, but this guy, for everything else, he has that one little thing. At least this year.
The clutch gene exists. I don't care what people say. Like, baseball's an emotional game. Momentum's a thing. And Josh Palacios right now has that clutch. He has it.
Whatever it is, he locks in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for the love of the game, like mechanism on.
Yeah. And you knew the second that ball was hit, it was gone.
Yeah, it was nuked.
Like, that was awesome. And what a great bat flip. What a bat drop.
And then the shrug.
What?
Then the shrug.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I guess I did this again. Like, for the second time. So that was great. And now you're like, the game's really over now.
Yeah. I'm thinking, let's go 1, 2, 3 here, jump on the post-game show, and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, it's really over now. And then David Bednar had other ideas. As the Cubs score 6 runs in the last 3 innings off of a Dansby Swanson 2-run homer.
Yeah, Bednar really hasn't looked good in a while.
No.
Another guy that's probably a bit fatigued at this moment.
100%.
Also, I think there is something to be said about coming in a non-save situation that they just kind of take their foot off the gas a hair.
Yeah, he is not good when it's not within 3 runs. Like, if it's 4, he's not going to be good at baseball, and it's weird. I don't know why that happens. And I was thinking, like, why are we using Bednar in the first place? But then I saw he hadn't pitched in 4 days, so fine. Like, you kind of have to trot him out there. Yeah, but like, he feels like he doesn't know where his fastball's going.
Yeah, it's almost like command is just contagious because nobody had any of it tonight.
No.
So
no one had command. None of our pitchers looked spectacular.
No, and neither did the Cubs pitchers. It was one of those nights where nobody knew where a baseball was going.
Yeah. It's almost it's shocking that like this was a.
It was the entire series, truthfully.
It was shocking, like how pitching went tonight. That was a 3-run game after the 7th inning.
Yeah,
but I mean, this series has been wild. Like, you know, like
a lot of runs,
so many runs, a lot of bad pitching, a lot of bad defensive play.
Yeah.
But the Pirates do win. Bednar shuts the door after Swanson homers. Suzuki, Morel, and Gomes all go down. Pirates win the series. I think we finished the season 3-10 against the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. We'll try again next year.
It's so frustrating because like this team is so good at taking care of the trash.
Yeah.
We are 28 games under 500 against teams with a running record. Maybe 27 now after tonight.
Well,
but
it's
like
progress.
It is progress, yeah. We're slowly separating ourselves away from the bottom feeders because we can just beat up on the bottom feeders. And we're not 8 games?
9, I believe now.
9, right? Because we lost 9 games under 500.
Hey, we are closing in on 75 wins, which, to be fair, at the beginning of the season, I said they need to win at least 75 games.
Unfortunately, my prediction of 73 is looking awfully bleak. So I don't think I'm winning a jersey of choice from our North Shore 9 raffle.
At this point, I will be kind of upset if we don't get to 75.
If we don't get the 75, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. I will happily get swept by the Marlins at home if we go out and take the series from the Reds.
Also, getting swept by the Marlins probably means the Cubs are out of the playoffs.
That's what exactly. Like I want us to lay over and die. So we need to get we need to get these next 3 wins before the Marlins series.
Yeah, pretty much. Just I don't know. I'd like to finish the season strong. Let's find a way to do something and make it fun.
Sorry, let's put this. Let's win. Let's lose all the Marlins games, and make them competitive. Like go out and sweep the Reds, take 2 or 3 from the Phillies, and then the Marlins they can win those games.
Just know what, beat all those teams, and then get some dark horse in the playoffs.
Yeah, just not the Cubs and the Reds. Yeah. Just not the Cubs and the Reds.
And I guess the Marlins too, because the Pirates still play them. So all 3 of them could be out of the playoffs.
And hey, we can still make the playoffs ourselves if we win out.
Technically, yes. Gotta win out, baby.
I think the Padres are trying to do the same thing. So we're just casually going toe to toe with the Padres, as the Pirates do.
Why not?
Yeah, why not us?
Why not us?
All right.
Let's get out of here, Neil.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Well, Jim is about to go live on OOTP.
All right.
So Jim Sherrington will be online here shortly as soon as we get out of here.
All right, and I would love to watch, but some of us have work in the morning. As
do I. But everyone else stay on, watch Jim Sherrington.
All of you guys are unemployed. You're watching the Pirates post-game show at 11:40 at night.
Yeah, on that note, let's get the heck out of
here. Well, let's get out of here. The Pirates win 8-6. We beat the Cubs. It's a good day.
Yep.
Have a good night,
Peace
everyone.
Out, Girl Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.